Hi guys, welcome to Improved Garage. So today I'm going to be playing with some more DIY detail stuff. Again, just checking out the line, not a sponsored video. There will be a link in the description to their website if you're interested in trying out any of their products. Everything I've used so far I have liked. Maybe there might be some products where I like something a little bit better. Like I like the OG drying aid better than ceramic cloths, honestly. But I really do like their rinseless car wash, and they're all clean, and their iron remover, they both seem to work very well. Their glass cleaner and their interior cleaner both seem to work very well. They all have pleasant scents, which is really cool. So today we're going to be trying out 4 products. So we have their gold standard polish, which is the only polish that they make. We have their panel prep, which is their panel wipe or panel cleaner. And we have 2 different 3-inch pads. So this is their 3-inch wool pad, and this is their 3-inch foam waffle pad. The way they describe this product is it is a sprayable polish that is easy to apply and easy to make consistent on your pad, and that the amount of cutting that you get out of it is directly related to which pad you're using. So if you use the wool pad, you're going to get more cutting action, and if you use the waffle pad, you're going to get less. Right. So to test this out, I'm going to be using my Mirka polisher. I'm going to be using setting 1 and setting 2 for both products, which is what I've been using for a lot of the other products. Setting 1 is 4,000 RPM, setting 2 is right around 5,000. I'm going to be testing on my 2016 Mini Cooper, which this needs a paint correction. I'm going to be working on the hood. The hood has paint in the middle, it has vinyl stripes on the side. All of them have scratching on them. So we're just going to test it out. We're going to see how it works and go from there. So first, we have their panel prep product. Panel prep is a ready to use when you buy it in a spray bottle. And it says liberally spray on the surface and wipe off with a clean, low nap microfiber towel. So what I'm going to be using this for is just to remove the bit of protection that is on the paint, which is mostly from drying aid. Obsessed Garage drying aid, which is a silicon dioxide style spray, detailer spray drying aid. We're going to be just wiping this off, and I can definitely feel that there is less slickness, like it did remove some of the product. I'm going to go over it a second time. Some of these silicon dioxide based drying aids can be a little hard to remove. So clean that up, and that feels good. I'm also going to wipe both of the stripes because I'm going to be messing around with them. But primarily I'm going to be, let's imagine a box, and that box is right here to this top waistline and the 2 stripes. So I'm going to be working on the hood, I'm going to be working on the stripes, and I'm going to stay above this vent and stay just below the waistline trim. So here we have our gold standard polish. I'm going to shake this up because you should always shake chemicals before you use them, just because sometimes something falls out of suspension. And we're going to take this and we're going to mist it on the pad. And we can use our finger to just kind of spread this out a bit. I like the spraying because you get a little bit of consistency across the pad, but it does kind of create a little bit of an overspray situation. As you see, I've got a couple dots here, and I've got a mist that just kind of went there all the way up onto my windshield. So it is something that you need to be cognizant of. You know, maybe you want to have a rag in your hand, and you want to spray the polisher with the rag behind it. Obviously, we have already washed the car, and we've already decontaminated the car. That should be a prerequisite to using any sort of polish. If you're interested in how to do that, you can watch the DIY detail video that I did on the Mercedes-Benz, where I used their rinseless car wash and their decontamination towel to both wash and decontaminate the vehicle. So We're going to take this and we're going to blot this out on the car. It's like that. And I'm on my lowest setting, and we're going to just spread out the polish. And then I'm going to kick the speed up one time, and I'm going to do this section in a crosshatch pattern. Okay, we've gone over that 4 times. Let's remove the polish. This rag does have a little bit of panel wipe on it. That's why you're getting that little bit of streaking, but it does a good job to clean everything off. So before we inspect, let's talk about the actual experience using the product. So it smells very good, which is not something that I generally care about in a polish, but it does smell good, which is, it's pleasant. It's a pleasant experience, which most of these products are designed to give you a better experience when you're using them. It didn't sling all over the place. You can see that there's no dust, there's no sling. It just stayed where it was, which is very good. Oftentimes when you're doing a panel, it's very easy to end up slinging polish up onto a windshield, into gaps or crevices or things around you, and then you have to spend all this time cleaning everything up. I didn't have any of that here. So let's talk about the cut. So it did a good job cutting the panel. This panel wasn't very heavily scratched, but it did do a good job of removing a lot of the minor scratches. It's probably not as heavy of a cut as a product like Sonex Cut Max or Griot's Fast Correcting Cream or something along those lines, but it did a good job. So I think that it would actually make a really good one-step because it took care of probably 90–95% of the defects, and it cleaned up really well. There is I can see some minor scratching here and there that is still left behind, like very, very minimal, marring, which I will assume is going to clean up with the waffle pad. So we're going to try that out and see how it works. So here is their foam waffle pad. Again, got some overspray on the hood here, as you can see, but we'll get this spread out. So the spray I like. I see reasons to like it and not to like it, to be honest with you. So let's spread this out, same panel. Then kick it up a speed. One thing that I do like is that the polish seems to do very well when you're working it for an extended period of time. A lot of polishes will, they'll start to dry out or almost burn as they're correcting, and you'll end up with some polish that's a little hard to remove. And that usually shows that you've worked the polish too long. But in this case, the first pass, I did 4 passes on that wool pad, and I didn't have any problems with any residue being left behind that was unable to be removed easily. The product seems to have a lot of lubrication to it. You can even see that it looks kind of, say almost oily in its appearance. Like, I don't know, there are a lot of like solvent-based polishes that I've used before that are like that. I'm not sure if this is a solvent-based polish or not. I'm guessing that it's not, but it's got a good working time without having to worry about it drying out. So a novice polisher would probably be able to do a great job with this without worrying about, you know, ruining their paint or, you know, having stuff that's hard to buff off. So now we're going to remove that polish and we'll see how we cleaned up. And I can already see that it's better. So looking at it with our inspection light, yeah, so the clarity here is really, really good. This looks almost perfect. So I don't see any of those minor scratches, the little bit of marring and stuff like that that was here around like these chip fills after the wool pad. So it's apparent that the waffle pad does do a finer cut with the same polish than the wool pad does. So that's actually pretty cool. And it does, you know, it does show you a lot about selecting not only the right polish, but also selecting the right pad, and that you can change just one of those two variables and have a drastically different outcome with your correction process. So I will say that, you know, for something simple, like if a non-discerning customer, somebody who would just buy a one-step wool pad, I think would actually be perfectly fine. You could go over the whole car with it, and you could do what we would call a one-step correction. There would be some minor micro marring that was left behind, but your average person wouldn't notice that. And there would be a fair amount of correction and improvement in the paint. So if you were going to do something like a ceramic coating or just a wax, you know, it would be a good one step beforehand. I'm going to go over these stripes. The stripes have a lot of vertical scratches in this direction. So I'm just going to see if I can clean that up a bit. They're made out of black vinyl. You know, I always worry about ruining these because you can't generate a lot of heat on them, and you don't want to end up with, you know, pulls and runs and things like that. So I'm going to use the waffle pad on this, and we'll see how that works. And I think that this will be a good test of how this product would do with something like a PPF, a vinyl wrap, you know, something along those lines. This is a very standard, like an Avery A7 or A9 style vinyl. It's not crazy fancy, it's just a very basic vinyl stripe. But I have corrected on top of paint protection film before to remove, you know, water spots, etching from bug splatter, things like that. And the ability to do that without ruining the product is really something that's desirable. You can see that I have a little bit of black or gray material on this pad after this second correction. That's fairly normal. You know, the vinyl is decently thick and easily replaceable, but that's me removing a little bit of product. Remember, every time you're removing scratches, you're removing clear coats or you're removing material. If it's, you know, if it's something where you're polishing just regular paint with no clear coat, or you're polishing something like a vinyl wrap or a vinyl stripe, you're removing product. So most of those vertical scratches are completely gone, so that's pretty cool. There is a little bit of polish residue here. I'll hit this with the panel wipe, clean it up. Another thing that works well, if you've got a pad that's kind of loaded up like this, it's got some polish on it. In order to clean that out, you can use something like the Lake Country pad washer. I love that thing. So I'll show that here on the video in a minute. But also you can go over the panel again and just spray a little bit of rinseless car washer on the pad. And you'll see that that brings some of the polish back here. It's, you know, yellow again. And you can hit this panel again and you're still going to get some cutting action. It's going to be a little bit more like a finishing polish and a little bit less like a compound in my experience, but it does allow you to kind of clean the pad out a little bit on the car, and also to use some of that polish that's left in your pad without just, you know, running it down the pad washer. And you will get some minor corrective action as well. So just go over it like this. And you can see again that cleaned up really, really well. Here's a light, and this just looks excellent at this point. And looking between this stripe and this stripe, you can really see the difference in the micro scratches and just the fine, like this looks like a spider web when I light it up, and this doesn't. There are a couple deeper vertical scratches that you can see under the right light, but all of the minor swirls and kind of love marks that you would get from washing the car on a regular basis, those are gone. So I'm going to do the same. I'm going to hit this one more time, and then we'll wrap this video up. I didn't talk much about the panel wipe. Panel wipe smells a lot like isopropyl alcohol. It doesn't have a pleasant smell. It doesn't have an unpleasant smell. It just smells like almost anybody else's panel wipe. I do like the fact that I can order it and get it in California, which is just a little knock at CarPro for the fact that I can't buy a racer here. But again, the cleanup on these stripes is really, really good. Very happy with the outcome and the user experience. So last, this is the Lake Country System 4000 pad washer. I like this thing quite a bit. DIY Detail uses it on their channel as well. I think it's a great way to clean your pads. So what you do here is this center section, when you push it down, it kind of squirts. You can see there's some liquid here that came up. There's a solution in the bottom that you mix up that contains a pad washing solution. And then there is a reservoir here that contains all of the stuff that comes off of the pad. So you take this and you put it here, and I like to give it like 2 pumps and make sure that this has some fluid on it. And then you just run it just like that inside the bucket. I've got a little bit left, so I'm going to hit it again. And there are these ribs that you just kind of polish, and it cleans out your pad. And then I like to lift it up just a little bit, let it dry out. I hold my hand here next to it because it keeps it from spraying overspray on the side of the car. And as you can see, the pad looks clean. It's a little bit of polish residue right there in the center. You can get that out with a deep cleaning, you know, using a regular pad washing chemical and cleaning it in your sink, which is something that you would normally do at the end of the day. So this is slightly damp. You don't have to worry about drying it out completely. You kind of want it to stay slightly damp. It allows the polish to not dry out when you're polishing a section, and it allows you to kind of keep the heat down and not worry about burning or marring your paint, especially for beginners. So this is a great tool that you can use to make your pads last longer. Also to make it so that you need less pads to wash a car. Previous to this, I used to use just the regular Rupes pads, and I would wash them out in the sink when I was done. And you end up with pads that are really, really wet. So, you know, you ended up needing 6, 8 pads to do an entire car. I have done an entire car with 2 pads using this guy and just having them here and washing them out when I was done and hitting this in between panels. And I think that it's a great thing to pick up. They also sell this on the DIY Detail site. I think I got mine from Detail King. There are a bunch of places on the internet that have it. This is not a DIY detail product. This is made by Lake Country, but I do like it and I do recommend it. So anyway, the DIY detail system does seem to work very, very well. It's, it's geared towards DIY, right? To a person who is a consumer or prosumer that is in their home garage, that is trying to clean and maintain their vehicle, that is trying to achieve, better results and have a proven method. Do I think that they build the best product in every category? No. Like I said, I like Obsessed Garage Drying Aid, for example, better than ceramic gloss. But I think that they are a solid, complete system that you can use from start to finish. You can have one manufacturer, one set of bottles, one set of sprayers. They look uniform on your shelf, and you can trust the manufacturer design these products to work together and to give you a consistent experience. Are there products that are maybe 10% better in certain respects? Yes, likely. I think that their rinseless car wash is actually fantastic. It might be the best that I've ever used. I really need to spend some more time, like go back to McKee's, go back to Absolute now that I've used the DIY Detail rinseless quite a bit. I like the ability to use it inside your garage and to not have to worry about washing in your driveway. The entire line seems to be built around user friendliness. A lot of the spray bottles are ready to use. They're pre-diluted. They pick them up, ready to go. The products are not expensive. They're not inexpensive, but they're not expensive. They're pretty mid-range. They're on the line of something like a Chemical Guys or a PNS or a Geon or a G-Technic. They're not incredibly expensive, but they're not, cheap, if that makes sense. Their shipping is very good. Their packaging is very good. Their communication around your shipment and all of that stuff is as you would expect. Like I said, I placed an order and I receive it in under a week from when I placed the order, which is great and about all I expect from a manufacturer. And the products arrive without being broken. The sprayers are good, the bottles are good, the labels are nice, they're easy to read, easy to use. So I think overall it's a pretty good line, and if you're looking for something that you can buy for your home garage and that you can use to do your own paint correction or maybe a couple of cars, I think that it's a great product line to look at. I am in the future going to be looking at a couple other product lines that are very similar from well-respected detailers. One of them that I'm going to try out next is Armor Detail Supply. So I ordered one of everything that Armor Detail Supply makes, pretty much, with the exception of their coatings. I have their wheel coating. I don't have their paint coating. And it's the same thing with DIY Detail. I'm not trying out their paint coatings. It's nothing against them. It's just that it's really hard to test paint coatings. I have CSL and XO on the Mercedes, and I have CSL and XO on the Green Mini. I can only really test one coating per year per car. So it's kind of difficult because I'm not a professional detailer and I don't have access to a whole bunch of cars that I'm regularly working on. I am going to do a coating on this Mini with Cerakote. So I did receive some Cerakote to try out. So I'm going to do a coating on this with Cerakote and try that out. I may try DIY Details coating in the future at some point, but it's probably a far ways off, truthfully. So besides Armor Detail Supply, I'm interested in trying out Ammo products, Ammo NYC. I'm sure you've seen their channel if you're into detailing. They also have a very well-respected line of products that a lot of other detailers have used and like. So again, I'm probably just going to, at some point, buy one of everything, test them all out, see how they are. So that's it. If you're interested in checking out any DIY Detail products, there will be a link in the description. That is an affiliate link. It gives me, I think, 5% kickback on everything that you buy, but your stuff doesn't cost you anymore. It just helps me out. So if you are interested in trying out DIY Detail, click on the link, buy some products, test them out. I don't think that you'll be disappointed. Every product that I've used so far, I would say, as a line, they're probably in the top 10% of all detailing products. there hasn't been a single product that I've used that I haven't liked or that hasn't worked well. There might be something that I like better than a particular product, but that doesn't mean that it's bad. It's actually, they're all excellent products. So test them out, see how you like them. I'll catch you on the next video. Thanks. Have a great day.